I'll show you how to clean up a fogged mirror, and those things can be really incapacitating where you can't see anything through the mirror. So having one that actually works is important. And we ended up buying a repair kit for this mirror and didn't end up needing to use it because we were able to clean it all up and without actually needing to put any new parts on it. The old side mirror on this 2006 Audi A4 is in pretty bad shape. It's to the point where you really can't see through it anymore, and water has gotten in between the glass and the heater, so it really needs to be replaced. I have a new piece of glass here, and what we're going to do is peel this off and separate it from the heater unit and put it on with some new adhesive. With a suction cup, it's going to make this a lot easier to pull it off. I'm just going to stick it on there, and we've got a really good grip on the mirror. I have seen people able to get their fingers in between the edge right here and pull it off. This is going to make it a lot easier, and you can pick up a kit with 2 different or 3 different sizes of these from Harbor Freight, and they make it really easy. Look at all the bubbles moving in there. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get this off without everything just separating, because it's really, these 2 layers, you can see that's where all the water is. When you move it around, all the bubbles move around. There we go, it's starting to come out. Beautiful. There we go. Unplug the heater element in between the spider eggs. From the side, I'll use a screwdriver and pry up on that to take it off. Sometimes it can be pretty stuck. And the other side. To get this connector out, you just need to pry up on these 2 tabs and then pull. In order to get this plastic border off, there is adhesive all the way around the edge of it. So what you need to do is just really carefully pry it up around, really watching the corners. That's the easiest for it to break, and then you'll get the whole piece off. Because this mirror glass is already wanting to separate, that's gonna make it a lot easier to get off. I'm just gonna get a pry tool in there and carefully pry up around and really try not to break the glass. Wow, that just came off with no effort. That's amazing. You can see the problem is all this water and different fluids that have gotten in here. And I think it's this edge seal right here that must have failed and just let everything in there. And then the mirror really started to become unusable. What we're actually able to do, if you wanted, you could clean the mirror with maybe some rubbing alcohol. It would really get a lot of that gunk off the face, and probably reinstall that glass piece. Since we have a new mirror, we're going to put it on, and you might actually struggle to get this to seal again, and you might end up having the same problem if you just cleaned it and put the glass back on. It's also cracked right up there at the corner. I'll clean this off. Rubbing alcohol is just great for getting the thicker gunk off, and I also need a clean surface to apply the adhesive to with the new mirror. It's easy if I use a scraper to get that adhesive on the edge off, because it's pretty hard. You could reinstall this on the car without reinstalling the glass, and then you would have a working mirror again. Although I think it's going to be a bit better whenever we have the glass. That's what it was designed for. So we're going to make a little gasket to go around the edge. This trim is going to cover up any gasket material that might make it a little bit farther onto the edge, and then we'll have the glass on the mirror. Using some gasket sealer, I'm going to apply it around the edge and really try not to get it far onto the edge, because I don't want it to show up on the mirror. Just very lightly put it around the edge. I would imagine that the glass on the outside is something that holds heat in the heated mirror. So if you don't have that layer of insulation, it's gonna cool off maybe too quick, and it wouldn't actually work as a heated mirror. I got a little bit on the mirror, so with the toilet paper and rubbing alcohol, I'm gonna clean that off. Make sure it's really clean everywhere before we put the glass back on. Now with everything clean, we can reinstall the glass, and this is where it's going to be kind of tricky because we need to get this centered perfectly on the mirror. Just make sure it seals everywhere, so I'm squeezing it around the edge. And I'm expecting some to squeeze in, maybe a little bit more than I want it to, but that's not a huge problem. I have that same sealant around the edge of the mirror as well, so this black piece of trim is going to stay on and also help a little bit with sealing. So overall, this is so much better. It's very much usable as a mirror. Is it perfect? Well, there's a little bit that got past the trim line right here, so there's a little bit of sealant that got into the mirror. But it's really not anything big, just a little bit around the edge where it's not going to be obstructing your view. And it's nice to have a mirror that is actually going to be functional again. If you wanted, you could have replaced this entire heating unit. You could replace the mirror glass, but I think this is a pretty quick fix, and just cleaning underneath it saves some time, some money, and we have a working mirror. Now let's reinstall everything. And just push it in. And this looks way better, and we actually didn't have to replace anything.